What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. This is your boy Frankie Bones, and in today's video, going to be hopping back into the Yankee universe, recapping our first series after the All-Star break. Definitely a disappointing one and a bad way to start our second half, but we'll dive on into that here in just a moment. We'll break down all the games, we'll talk key takeaways, what's up Doc, and ultimately who's on deck, talking about who the Yankees have in the next few series. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to drop a like. As well, make sure to subscribe if you guys are new to not miss out on any Yankees content coming in the future. So without further ado, as you always should, we'll start with Game 1 of this series on Friday. The Rockies end up taking this game by a score of 7-2. Carlos Rodon, with just an ass start, goes 5 strong, 4 earned, 2 walks, 6 Ks. Really just still getting that pitch count up for him. Slider wasn't playing that well, so looking to see that continuing to develop over the next few starts. The Yankees were really hurt by the long ball in this game throughout, and ultimately was how the Rockies were able to get majority of their runs. The highlight of the offense for the Yankees was Big G, 2-run homer in the first inning. Outside of that, they weren't able to capitalize on some of the other hits and runners in scoring position. And the last thing to talk about, DJ LeMahieu, 2 hits in his first return to Colorado. Obviously, he spent a number of years there, some really successful years as well. So nice to see a nice round of applause for DJ in his return. Moving on to game number 2, the Yankees end up taking this game by a score of 6-3. And Clarke Schmidt pitched really well, probably his best start of the year so far in the most hitter-friendly park. He goes 6 strong, first time in his career going into the 7th inning, allowing 2 runs, 3 hits, 8 Ks. His stuff was really good, and we'll talk a little bit about him more in the key takeaway section. Giancarlo Stanton goes deep again, this time for a 3-run shot to give the Yankees a 6-1 lead. And, you know, his is a bat that's really starting to come around again here since he came off the IL. So, looking forward to continuing to see him hopefully get hot here and get the Yankees on a run. Tommy Kahnle, unfortunately, with his first bad outing of the year, allowing an earned run here. We'll talk a little bit more about him as the series goes on. And to wrap up game number 2, 3 hits for DJ. Really seems like his bat is coming around. Don't know if it was just the homecoming or what, but something that's really encouraging for this lineup overall. And finally, we'll move on to game number 3. Yesterday afternoon, the Rockies end up taking this absolute crusher in a fashion of 8-7 in 11 innings. Garrett Cole struggles a little bit at the beginning. His pitch count gets up, but he continued to dominate throughout. 6 strong, 2 hits, 1 run coming on a solo shot, and I think the second, 11 Ks. So his stuff still looked really good and really put this team in a great spot to be able to take this game. The Yankees sort of get the lead here on some small ball hits, walks, hit by pitch, stealing bags, end up getting 2 on an IKF single up the middle and an error. Then Anthony Volpe gets a third home to make it 3-1. But the Rockies keep clawing back in this game, and Tommy Kahnle really struggled in this one, allowing 3 earned runs. I think he gave up 2 hits and a walk. His stuff just really did not look good. Clay came in to try and clean up the mess, ends up giving up a grand slam on a mistake, which does happen, but obviously a big 4. The Yankees fight back, tie up the game, but some of the base running in the later portions of the game really sort of lost it for us. The Yankees end up tying up the score with 2 outs on a sac fly, and Peraza gets thrown out at third, makes the last out at third. Everybody knows that's unacceptable, and prevents the Yankees from an opportunity of trying to take the lead and close it out in regulation. Another bad base running mistake by Harrison Bader. I believe in the 10th inning, Chopper back to the mound. He was the runner on second base. Thought it was get over, and he broke for third. Pitcher ended up making a good throw, and there was the whole replay thing going on there. So, unfortunately, we couldn't take another look. But, you know, we end up getting 2 in the top of the 11th, and we give up 2 home runs in the bottom of the 11th. And a questionable decision by Boone to bring in Ron Marinaccio, sort of chasing a matchup with 2 outs. He gives up a solo shot to end the game. Overall, that leaves us at a 50-44 record, 9 games back of Tampa Bay and 1.5 out of the wild card. So, really disappointing series for the Yankees to lose, and they'll have to rebound quickly here in the next few series. Moving on to some key takeaways. The first thing I want to talk about is DJ, in that he may have found something in his return to Colorado. Overall, he had a pretty good series. He went 6 for 13, drawing a walk as well, 1 extra base hit. I think that he had 1 or 2 runs. I don't believe he had any RBIs in the series, but overall, good to see him continuing to get on base and really sort of produce for this team. It's been a little while, and if he's able to get rolling, another key offensive piece for the Yankees to try and make this run here in the second half. The second key takeaway is Clarke Schmidt, and he's continuing to show his improvement and his consistency as an MLB pitcher. A couple of glaring stats that stood out to me. He now has 15 starts with 3 runs or less. I think this is 5th or 6th in the American League or MLB. I forget exactly what the stat said. And in his last 11, a 2.83 ERA. He continues to be really consistent. The one thing that has definitely been effective for him is the cutter. Different usage of that, different locations, I think, has proven to make that a really good pitch. He's focused on getting that more down in the zone, down and into lefties, and sort of backdoor to righties, as well as a pitch to play off of his slider and his curveball as well. Just a really good mix for him right now. And, you know, he's our number 2 right now, sort of numbers-wise, which is crazy if you told me that 2 months ago. But he continues to pitch well, show good stuff, and definitely really encouraging for this rotation overall. The third key takeaway is Tommy Kahnle. 2 bad outings back-to-back for him. Overall in the series, 1.2 innings pitched, 4 runs, 2 hits, 2 walks, and just the command. He really had a difficult time in this series. Not sure if it's fatigue or what it is. Maybe just the small break, but he really had a difficult time with his command. He had to play back into the zone and was getting hit hard, and ultimately that was the downfall of that rubber match, as he got those 3 guys on, and unfortunately Clay Holmes could not get the job done. But really tough to see, especially how good that he's been this year. So hopefully he leaves all these troubles in Colorado. He's able to move on and sort of fix some of these issues that he was running into in this series. And finally, the last key takeaway we'll talk about is Oswald Peraza. He's finally going to get his, sort of true shot here. Josh Donaldson goes on the IL with, he's going to be getting an MRI, but I believe that they said it was right calf. So we'll see how long it ends up being, but his last stint was long. I think that Peraza is really going to get a true shot here. Personally, wouldn't be surprised if we cut ties with Donaldson. Believe that we would just eat about $8 million, which is tough, but the guy has not been able to hit. It doesn't matter that he's got a good glove at third. We have DJ and Peraza there as well. Even IKF, if you needed him, who won a gold glove there as well. So Peraza is going to get a true shot, and we'll see obviously how the Yankees end up doing over the next few weeks leading up to the deadline, but I think Peraza is definitely going to get a true shot and give the team and other teams as well an opportunity to see how valuable he really is. He's been hitting great in the minor leagues, so we'll see if that's able to translate. Again, he did have an RBI single in that top of the 11th, so wouldn't be surprised if he continues to get the job done. Moving on now to What's Up, Doc. Talk about 3 guys in particular and sort of where they are in their progress. The first one we'll talk about is the captain, and sort of a big week for him after the All-Star break. He obviously announces that he is not traveling in order to rehab on Friday and Saturday. I'm not sure about Sunday. Sort of tuned into the game a little bit later on, so missed a lot of the pregame stuff, but Aaron Judge did run and throw and hit BP on the field, so consecutive days is definitely good that his body and his toe is reacting positively to the work and sort of the recovery path that he has been on. So definitely continues to progress. Obviously very exciting news, and looking forward to getting to have him back on the field sooner rather than later. Boone had mentioned he thought hitting would be the last thing, but he is sort of hitting, not live, but obviously in a cage and off a tee and things like that. So interested to hopefully get some updates here over this next week and see how he continues to react and progress from this point. The next guy we'll talk about is Nestor Cortes. He will be throwing today in LA as a bullpen. We'll see how he sort of reacts to that. Didn't get too much information there, but I believe if he sort of reacts well to this bullpen session, that he may start a minor league rehab assignment after this, may need 3 or 4. And as mentioned, he's on the 60-day, so he's first eligible to return in about 3 weeks after the first week of August. So it seems like that time frame could definitely match up, and hopefully we'll have him back closer to 100%, Rodon back at 100% by that time, and really, take on the short sprint for a playoff push, because at the moment we are out. And finally, the last thing that we'll talk about, Josh Donaldson. Again, he's back on the IL with a right calf, getting an MRI. A lot of these soft tissue stuff for him has taken a little while to recover, so wouldn't be surprised again if we see him on the shelf for a couple of weeks, and maybe potentially cutting ties with him if everything ends up being right. But obviously he has to be healthy for that to be the case. And we'll definitely give some other guys some opportunities to get some at-bats and play third. Again, DJ's starting to hit. Hopefully we continue to see that develop. So he may play third. Peraza, will have plenty of opportunities at third base as well. In IKF, if we need him, obviously doing a great job in the outfield for us throughout the first half. So I don't imagine as much, but obviously as needed. And finally, we'll talk about who's on deck for the New York Yankees over the next few series. Starting today, we will take on the LA Angels for 3 games, really, really important games, and, is a team that's sort of a little bit out of it right now. I mean, we definitely should have beaten the Rockies. This is a series the Yankees have to have now. Another team in the American League, and a team that could potentially be sellers, and we may potentially be buyers of their selling pieces, so really critical for us to be able to at least win this series, staying out on the West Coast. Hopefully we're able to stay focused and get the job done. We then have a day off to travel back to New York, where we take on the Royals for 3 games, a team, again, that's really not good, and we really should be able to sweep that. I think getting all 3 of those games is incredibly important in the season at this point. And after that, we will host the New York Mets for 2 games. So interesting couple of series, definitely very gettable for these 8 games. I'm hoping the Yankees can take 6 of these games. Definitely 5. We need to win, majority of these games over the next 8-game stretch. And in order to really get back on track, this team needs to start rolling. Everybody needs to start hitting and contributing in ways that are leading to wins. And at the moment, the Yankees are just having a difficult time doing that. Whether it's the players individually, decisions by Boone, it's just not adding up right now. So in order for me to stay optimistic, I need to keep making these videos and telling everybody that I'm optimistic. But the boys need to start showing it on the field and really having a great end of July. Because to be honest, this race becomes much shorter and shorter. And at some point you run out of time to where you sort of need to win every game. And we don't want to be in that situation. But that's going to do it for this video, guys. Let me know down in the comments section what you guys took away from this Colorado Rockies series. Outside of obviously we had to win it. We choked away that 3rd game. Be curious to hear your guys' opinions on the Yankees as they stand and what you think they're going to be able to accomplish over the next few series. But for now, that's going to do it for me, guys. This has been your boy Frankie Bones, and I look forward to seeing you guys in the next video. Peace out.